What is it?
What the fuck?
All right. That's that's the custom blender door feature. All right, so I'm on my way to my buddy's shop to pick up 2 more cars I bought at auction this week. I had them shipped to his shop because he also bought some cars this week at the exact same 2 auction locations, and it saved us money to have them all shipped to one location. He bought a lot more cars than I did. Come on, you fucking assholes. I have seen one of these cars. Actually, I've seen both of them in person. The 2006 Accord I looked at before I bid on it. It has a lot of miles on it. It's got 198,000 miles, but it's in pretty good shape overall. The fluid's checked out and everything. And I bought that Accord for $598. All said and done, that's after all the fees, delivery, everything. $598. So I figured I can't get too hurt on it. The comps for these Accords go anywhere from 3 to 5,000. Now granted, those have lower miles, but the ones that are 3,000, you know, usually have around 200,000 miles on them. This thing's fully loaded, leather, sunroof, alloy wheels. So at $600, I really can't get hurt on it, even if there's something major wrong with it. I really hope there isn't, but that's the gamble you take with the auction. So this car I checked out beforehand, but again, I couldn't start it or test the transmission because the battery was dead and I didn't bring a jump box with me. So hopefully, I'm hoping that A, it came with the battery, it just needs a jump start. I don't remember, to be honest, when I opened the hood on it to look. This was like 2 weeks ago when I looked at it. I do remember that the fluid levels were okay, the oil, the transmission fluid, etc. So hopefully this one checks out. Hopefully it runs and drives very well. The second car I won at auction is a 2007 Saturn Aura, because it's not the same spelling as the early 2000s, late 90s Aurora. It's A-U-R-A, Saturn Aura. I don't know, however you want to pronounce it. That one I bought sight unseen. However, I have seen it because the day I won it, I actually went up there to pay for a couple of things. So I went and checked it out after the fact. It was one of those cars I didn't see when I walked the lot a week prior, but I got it so cheap. So with fees, delivery, everything, this car cost me $838, I think. Against 2007 Saturn, A-U-R-A, Aura. Remember that show, Home Improvement? But this one only has 160,000 miles on it, and I went and looked at it afterwards, like I was saying, and it looked pretty good. It wouldn't start, the battery was dead, but it was a very clean car. One crack in the back bumper, but the rest of it was in pretty good shape. So both cars in a good detailing, but hopefully nothing mechanical. So anyway, I'm on my way over to my buddy's shop now. I'm almost there. And the cars, he just texted me, they just got dropped off. I was hoping to be there when they got delivered, but I got tied up with the Durango. I'm still trying to take that stupid fender off. So this is also, by the way, both cars are clean title. And like I said, run and drive, allegedly. First attempted start of the Accord. Nothing. It's too loose. That motor's done. What was that? Was that the motor?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's shot.
Start it?
You sure?
It's shot anyways.
Fucking, I checked the oil, yeah.
Is that oil? Yeah.
What in the hell?
I'm trying to see if that's just a fucking pulley.
That's what I'm hoping. Holy shit, that sounded bad.
Start it again?
Usually when you buy 5 a week, there's always one bad apple. I'll give it gas.
What is that shit called?
Idler pulley.
The tension pulley.
That's it?
Yeah, that shit's like bent or something. It's like.
Sure it's not the motor?
Go look at it. I mean,
I trust you. You're the mechanic here.
I can't tell you if the motor's good. It still sounds weird, and this boot's ripped, which doesn't make it any better because it's gonna run like shit.
Oh, right here, yeah.
But look, go look over there. here was like shaking back and forth.
Fucking hell.
You know what else it could be, dude? The timing chain. Yeah, definitely.
Well, this one's toast.
If I listen on this side, I don't hear it. It's only, it's only on the timing belt. It's on the timing chain side.
Yeah.
The belt. Between the chain being loose.
Is this thing junk if the tensioners are loose? You just do a timing chain and the tensioners and you're good. Is it interference? I'll have to look into it.
Yeah.
Might be just for scrap.
This is a V6 motor.
3.0.
Yeah. These are the expensive ones.
Oh, if I had to put a new motor, I won't do it. Unless I get one at the auction for $200, it's wrecked in the back and it's a good motor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can sell a V6 Accord for like pretty penny, like $2-3 grand. It's even overdue on the oil change though.
Yeah, but I should be sounding like that. You know what I mean? Fuck, we'll have to look into
the timing chain and between that, the timing chain and that, because it's coming from here. And this is the timing cover.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like it's not too hard to get to, at least. Well, you just pull the belt
pins
off, and that's it, pretty much. I'll have to look in the computer, see what the hours is on that. Because I don't want, the thing is, this is so many miles on it. I don't want to be into it for too much.
Yeah, because
if this was a 100,000 mile car, then it's $4 grand. But it's already got 200K in the shell. This is the thing with auctions. Any of these charity donation cars, it's either an old lady's car who died, or it's someone's car fucking broke.
Good note. It started, and we know there's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
Versus it
Wonderful.
not starting and wanting to figure out what's wrong.
Well, let's go look at the Saturn. Hopefully that's a better turnout. Okay, so I may have struck out on the Accord Coupe. We're thinking, as you heard, timing chain, maybe some more. That might just be a car I junk or part out. So now I'm looking at the Saturn here. I paid a little more for this. I think with all the fees and everything, it was $898. This looks much more promising. It's very clean. They tried jump starting it before I got here, and the battery was dead. Like dead. So we're to try. That was the same case of the Accord, even with jump leads. So I brought my big trusty truck battery that should get this thing to turn over. Aside from this mirror, which I'm not worried about that, junkyard, 30 bucks. I didn't notice this, unfortunately, when I was looking at the car. I took a very quick look at it the other day at the auction. I could probably get a door for this thing if they have a color match for like 40 or 50 bucks, if it really matters, but we'll see if I bother with that. Tires flat. The tires were all holding air and I looked at it, so I don't know, maybe it just needs a patch or a plug. And that bumper in the back, it's cracked. I'll have to just zip tie that thing back in, give it a drift stitch. So aside from that, this one looks pretty good. 168K, not low miles, but definitely not high. About average for the year in 07. A little bit above average maybe, but again, it shouldn't make it too hard to sell. Interior is fairly clean. I don't see any major issues in here. So hopefully this one starts and drives, because if I strike out the Accord, I should be able to make all my money back and more. On this one, I think this car, with a couple minor cosmetic things, should be able to bring close to 3. The Accord Coupe, I was hoping to get somewhere in the low to mid 2s for, but I'm not so sure about that now. I used to do the auctions for quite a while when I lived up north, and I usually expected one car out of the 4 or 5 or even 10 I purchased to be junk, so you just kind of brace for it. But anyway, we'll start this thing up soon. Okay, I just threw a battery in the Saturn, a little big for it, but it appears to have life. Headlights are on. I guess they had tried to jump start this before, and with no go. So let's see what happens now. I checked, it does have oil. Hopefully this one has no major issues. So I have one to make money on. I have to tighten that a little bit. Oh, come on, man. What the hell? Try number 3. Son of a bitch. Okay, try number 4. What in the fuck? Well, my luck just keeps getting better. Check this out. Oh, I had this cranking a second ago, but it wouldn't turn over. Just crank, nothing. So, I don't know. This is half the problem. This battery terminal is so worn out and it's very loose. I might run home and get shims, but that should have still started up. I cranked it for a good 10 seconds and no start. So, hoping for the best, but probably the worst based on what happened with the Accord. I put a shim on this terminal here. This is nice and tight now. It's so tight I don't think it's coming off. So this better do it or else I got a bigger issue. So what the fuck? That is the weirdest shit. There goes my hat. Alright, there's something. So why isn't it turning over? Got gas. And now nothing. I don't understand this car. Alright, now I'm gonna try with the Escalade hooked up and the new battery in there. I mean, what else can I do? Well, see, it's not a battery issue, that's for sure. Because look, I've got the Escalade hooked up and the battery, which is I have a different vehicle in here. I'm still getting nothing. It's not a battery issue. Okay, so I plugged in my OBD2 reader. Sorry I didn't film this, guys. Jade and I have been over here brainstorming away. I plugged in my code reader without the car running, and it kept pulling codes for the throttle body. And I finally figured out how to take all this plastic crap off. This was stuck in the throttle blade. It was wide open. Sure enough, the car was saying that it was having issues with the throttle body. Well, yeah, I would think so with this stuck right in there. So, this is an electronic throttle. So these cars will they'll disable the engine if there's something stuck in there, save it, and thank God it did, right? Because look what's stuck in there. I hope nothing more went in the motor, but this actually had this happen with an old Cadillac years ago. Something broke off from inside of here, shot into there, and disabled the engine. So we pulled this out. The question is there anything more that went in the motor? I don't know. Hopefully not. So look, this broke off of here. This is electronic throttle. This was stuck in the blade. So because I ran my OBD2 thing, and it was saying that it kept saying throttle body, throttle body. I'm like, well, what the heck? So we took all this shit off, and this was stuck in there.
So turn on.
Well, now I'm gonna try it. I just wanted to make sure that, like, I put this back to see if there was any, because there was more of it missing, and I couldn't see it. That means it's in the engine. So I don't see it. I mean, there's like a little teeny piece missing, but it doesn't look like any more went in there. I think as soon as this got caught in there, it just shut off the car and disabled the motor.
Look it, turn it on, let's go.
Alright, yeah, I just don't want to blow up this engine too. I'm already out one. Alright, so we disconnected the battery for a few minutes to reset the ECU. I've got the rubber out of the throttle blade, everything put back together. Did we put that hose back on? Yeah, that's back on. So I'm hoping and praying this engine's okay, that nothing went flying in there, anything weird like that. I'm hoping it's gonna actually let me start it. Let's see what happens. Ha 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 ha! Yeah! Woo! It works! Oh man. Okay, we got one working car. Thank God. The Accord may be dead, but this one works. We'll see how well it works. I don't know. We'll see if it does anything weird in a few minutes, but it's running. Let's see if we have any check engine lights or anything weird. Got a brake light. Do I have any brake pressure? Yeah. Oh, the e-brake might be on. Well, that was that. I don't even have any check engine lights. Boom. I'm gonna let it run for a few minutes, make sure it doesn't do anything funny, and I should be taking this one home tonight. All right, so I'm driving home the Saturn now. Check tire pressure light is on. I just checked the pressures. That back tire was totally flat. I don't know if you guys remember, so I'm guessing it has something to do with that. I filled it back up. It's probably gonna lose all the air by the time I get home. I just want to get it home. I'm having to deal with the spare tire. The only thing I couldn't find in this car, well, I didn't check the coolant level. Oh no, well, I could see it, but it's one of those pressurized tanks that was full. The only thing I didn't check was the check engine light came back on. Check engine light's giving me a PO13, which I believe is for like an O2 sensor or something. So we'll probably just go ahead and ignore that. And then the service tracked engine power reduced. Interesting. Why are we back to that again? That's not good. Transmission thumps a bit too. Man, I got all excited about this car and now I'm having second thoughts. I've got like no engine power at all. And the transmission shifting pretty harsh. So let's just get this thing home and I'll deal with it there. Man, can you believe it? All right, so as you guys saw, last night definitely wasn't my luckiest night. Both cars gave me quite a bit of trouble. I'm not even sure what's really going on with that Accord, so that's where I need your help. What do you guys think about that Accord? What do you think I should do? Do you think it actually has a bad motor? Do you think maybe it's something stupid like an idler pulley? Do you think I should even spend the money looking into it, or does it sound so bad I should just get rid of the thing? Because the way I look at it is I can sell that car as it sits, complete, not running, or whatever the hell's wrong with it, probably get all my money back and move on to the next car. I got plenty more I want to bid on this week. Or what I could do, if I can't sell it as a whole car, something I don't want to do because I don't want to have it out here in my yard sitting as a piece of shit, but I could part it out. The body was very clean on it. All the panels were in good shape except for the driver's side quarter panel, but can't really part that out anyway unless you were to cut it off the car. So I could take off the fenders, the whole front clip actually, the rear deck lid, tail lights, the interior was spotless. So I could take all that shit out and sell the parts and maybe even make a little bit of a profit on it. But again, I'm gonna have to park it somewhere in my yard here, which as you know, there's not much room. I'd have to look at a Frankenstein shell for a few weeks or even months until I get all the parts sold and scrap the shell. But it is an option. My third option is I could grab a used engine and probably a transmission, because these 3.0 Accords are notorious for having transmission problems, particularly in third gear. And I've never driven the car up to third gear, so I have no idea if the trans is good or not. Plus, it'd just be easier to pull the whole engine and transmission out and drop an engine and transmission in. So maybe I can source an engine and transmission for that car for not a terrible price. Figure about 8 hours of labor. I gotta pay my mechanics to swap that thing in. So if I get an engine and trans for 500 bucks, figure somewhere around 700 for labor, you know, we're still at a pretty hefty number there. But again, there's a Accord coupe selling for $4 grand and up. So if I fix it, I could still make a pretty sizable profit on the car. But fixing it's gonna take time and an initial investment in order to get it to that point. And what if I do all that and there's other shit wrong with the car? Maybe it's got bad struts, maybe it's got whatever else. So do I even bother? I just unload the thing now, cut my losses, and move on. And as for the Saturn here, last night you saw I got a reduced engine power message. I know with these Ecotech motors, they're constantly, every time a sensor has the slightest problem, even if something's just dirty at a contact point, these things throw that engine power reduced and they run like shit. I really don't like these more modern GM cars because of that. So if any of you know what that may be, I ran the check engine code. I got a PO13 with something about a CMP sensor. I don't know, something to do with the exhaust and the camshaft sensor, or a combination of the two. My mechanic was trying to explain it to me and I had no freaking clue what he was talking about. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this thing yet. Again, I might just sell it as is. You can see it's got some cosmetic damage, big dent here. The mirror I'm not worried about. I can grab one of those at the junkyard cheap. Little dent right here. It just needs a bath, obviously. I think aside from those dents on the passenger side, it's in pretty good shape. Driver's side's in good shape. Key for me is turning them over as quickly as possible. I'm gonna have this Durango hopefully done today. New bumper in the front, new fender, new seat. Fix that rear window, get the thing sold. So I want these cars out of here. I want to turn them over because I want to buy more inventory this week. So let me know what you think I should do with both cars, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment. If you don't like the video, leave a dislike. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, because there'll be plenty more auction videos to come. So thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for the next one.